Before we get started, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, share with somebody who you know may need to hear this, because this conversation right here, this one right here, this one gonna challenge you. I'm gonna challenge y'all on this one a little bit, just a little bit, just challenge you a little bit on responsibility, leadership, and why people don't listen the way they should. Let's talk about it. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at somebody you care dearly for? A friend, family member, spouse, child. Just looked at them in your mind, okay, in your noggin. You just said, why the hell you don't listen? Why can't they take advice? Why do they keep making the same mistakes over and over again, even though you told them was real? That's probably one of the biggest questions most people have no answer to. Why? This image right here, it answers this question better than any human being could ever do. Let's take a look at it. Let's evaluate this image down below right here real quick. So we see this young man, this young gentleman. He's sitting across from an elder. Now, this elder's real calm, cool, collected. You see, you know what I'm saying? He grayed up all the way across the board. You know what I mean? He an elder, right? But look at the table. He got bills all over the table, right? And if you look a little closer, some of them say past due. Okay? There's a calculator there. The weight in the room is kind of heavy. But he has this young gentleman's attention, his full attention, right? And the young man is intrigued, and he asks him a question. He asks this elder, he says, why don't you correct everybody? Why don't you fix them, basically, right? And the elder looks at him very calmly and says, people listen better to consequences than opinions. People listen better to consequences than opinions. Right? How many people in jail can understand that line right there, right? And that's not a quote, okay? That's a life lesson paid for in full. Okay? So let's slow this down a little bit. Let me put a little bit more into a little bit more context. So this is just not a conversation between two people. All right. This is a transfer of wisdom, like the presidents do when one leaves office and another one's coming in, like the transfer of power. This is a transfer of wisdom. All right. Now the elder's not angry. He's not lecturing this young man like a lot of us do. Lecturing versus listening. He's not emotional. He's real cool, calm, collected, because he's already lived through what this young man is about to learn. All right. So let's look at that table again. Now, those bills, those aren't random. That represents misdiscipline, delayed responsibility, choices that just didn't seem serious at the time. All right. So nobody sat this man down. And I'm talking about the elder. Okay. Nobody sat this man down years ago and forced him to understand money. All right. Nobody made him feel the consequences early. So now life is doing it. Beating him upside the head at his age. you know? Now, an elder who done been through it is going to understand things that some people, especially younger people, just won't. That correction without consequence is just noise. Just noise. But here's the mistake most people make. They think talking more, running their mouth more is leadership. Explaining harder is wisdom. Or even repeating themselves is care. Just because you done said it over and over again. No. Leadership is not about convincing people. It's about letting reality speak for you when words stop working. You know how many times you know them situations where you done told somebody something so many times, and then you finally say, you know what, I'm done telling you. You're gonna have to just learn on your own, and you fall back. Right? That's what that's speaking to. Right? That's what we're speaking to right here. You know, you can warn people, you can advise them, you can love them. But once you've done that, you gotta fall back and let life teach them. You got to. Because people, they don't change when they understand. They change when it costs them something. Right? Pain, it teaches. Loss, it teaches. Absence, consequences, all these things, they teach you something. But opinions, they get ignored. They get ignored. So real quick, if you're feeling this and this is hitting home, pause real quick. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on those notifications. Because right here, this channel, it's all about real conversations. You're not going to get this nowhere else, baby. But right here on the Mr. Anthony Show. But look, let's continue. Now, fellas, we struggle with this thing as well, man. Because we're just born and bred to want to fix everything. We're bred to want to protect. We're bred to guide, right? Be leaders. You know, that's what we were created for. But sometimes what feels like leadership is actually control disguised as care. You could be controlling and think you're doing it because you care for the person. Right? So when you keep correcting somebody, you're still in their accountability. You delay their growth when you keep fixing it for them. You make yourself actually responsible for lessons that they needed to learn alone, on their own. Now, this elder, he didn't say, I stopped correcting people because I stopped caring. He stopped correcting because he understood timing. There's a season, right, where advice works, where you can just, there's just a moment in time where you be telling people stuff and, they listen a little bit, right? But then there's a season for just being quiet. It's better. Let people figure it out. Stop being their crutch. Now, this applies to our kids, our spouses, our friends, and grown adults in the family. Because you just can't save everybody from mistakes. If you do, you raise adults who don't respect structure, don't fear consequences. They usually end up in jail or something. Don't learn ownership and none of that. Now this elder understood that sometimes love is letting somebody struggle long enough for them to wake up. Smell the coffee, so to speak. That's not cold. That's just responsible. It's called accountability, my people. And here's the part that most people just don't want to hear. Here it is. If someone keeps ignoring your advice, it just might be because you never let them feel the cost. You keep saving them. You keep rescuing them, coming in, the hero. Keep softening the landing. Let them bump that big ass head. Life don't whisper forever. Eventually, it will speak loudly. And if people are ill prepared on how to deal with failure, they're doomed. Especially in this world. The wise, they don't argue. Wise people don't argue with life. They step out of the way and just let it do its thing. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead, life. Life is going, what they say, life been lifing. Yeah, that's real. Get on out the way and let life continue to life. If you've never felt exhausted trying to make people listen, this image right here, this gives you permission to stop. Not stop caring, not stop loving, but stop interfering. Get out of the way. You're interfering with lessons that only experience can teach some people. But we can get in our own way sometimes too, right? Keep doing things that hinder our own growth. And that's putting too much into other people and forgetting about yourself. Everyone done neglected themselves to make somebody else happy, especially if you have a family. Especially whether it's the mother or the father. Everyone, if you give a damn, you're going to sacrifice something to where you put yourself last and put other people ahead of you. If you haven't done that in life, something wrong with you, in my opinion. You hollow on the inside. What's going on inside you? If you ain't never had to make a sacrifice ever in life as an adult. Kids even have to make sacrifices. Everybody do. But as an adult, this should be something you've done numerous times. Should be. But some people just cold on the inside, baby. But you know, it's always a pleasure, man, to be with y'all here on the Mr. Anthony Show. You done made it to the end of another one. And I hope this one resonates with y'all. Hit that like button. Subscribe on your way out the door. Spread it on. Spread the love. Tell people what's going on over here so we can help the world be better than what it was yesterday. All right? Tell somebody you love them. I'm out of here. Peace and blessings.